we always have access to that, um, the power of the earth. So uh, you can just follow through on that basis. So first, before we put our feet in the water, we are going to raise our kundalini using the gestures that we've been shown. And we do that 3 times. And third time, I like to tie 3 knots. And then we're putting this bandhan, the protection, around ourselves. So we're creating a meditative, sort of protected meditative space for ourselves, or a sacred space, you could say. And you do that about 7 times. And then we're going to take the right hand with the left hand open, our palm open on our laps, or I'm just showing you because my lap is not visible. And the right hand, we're going to point the hand towards the water, towards the foot soak. And just inwardly, the same way we do an affirmation, we say, we ask, may this foot soak water become vibrated and become effective for cleansing our subtle system, cleansing my subtle system. So we're using our power of desire to actually, and also this energy of vibrations that we feel, we're putting that energy into the water. And I use a circular motion. It's another form of abandon. Or you can just also just point your hands towards the water. And then we can put our feet into the water. And we'll just go into a meditative state for a moment. Just settling down inside. Checking to make sure that all our physical body is relaxed. Take 1 or 2 nice deep breaths. So you may be feeling already the coolness, the cool breeze on your hands, or you may feel it on your face or above your head. You can always check and see. At the same time as we're feeling coolness, we may also become aware of certain fingers, especially our fingers. We tend to feel a little bit something that indicates that there may be 1 or 2 chakras that need some extra support. And because we're all meditating together, whatever is the predominant condition of our systems collectively will tend to be sort of in sync. We'll because that's the nature of this experience, is that it's not just an individual experience, but it's a collective experience. And in that way, we help each other automatically. So let's take our right hand and put it on the lower part of our abdomen on the left hand side. And the quality, the pure quality of this center, on the left especially, is the quality of pure knowledge. So pure knowledge is you could think of it as the truth. And it's also the knowledge which has no distortions or does not rely on anything that's inauspicious. And that's the type of knowledge that we ideally want to have access to and want to use. So we can say inwardly the affirmation that Mother Kundalini, please give me the pure knowledge or the pure technique and anything that is unreality, or what they say in Sanskrit, avidya, not knowledge. May that be dispelled and removed. I only want the pure knowledge. And then let's move our right hand a little bit higher to our waist, to the third center, which is the center of our satisfaction, of our seeking. It's of our seeking, but also it's of our satisfaction in our seeking. And the satisfaction comes from the spiritual experience. So to reinforce that, we can say, Mother Kundalini, by your gift, I am satisfied. I am content. Mother, by your gift, I am satisfied. Let's put our right hand back down on our lap and see what we might be feeling on vibrations on our hands. And let's take our left hand now and we're going to put our focus on our right side, the second and the third center, which is actually, so we're putting our attention on our liver. This is where these centers control and support the action of the liver, which is so important because the purpose of the liver is to purify. And on a subtle level, these centers are also the seat of our attention. And because the liver has to work so hard, especially nowadays, did its job of purification, and because it is in charge of supplying energy, metabolizing fat as energy for our brains, which tend to be overactive. Again, this is our environment, due to our environment. But this center can become exhausted. And that then affects our ability to focus. So all we need to do is give some support by directing vibrations to these two centers, and inwardly we can say, Mother Kundalini, please give me a pure attention, a calm and cool, relaxed, and yet alert attention. Many people find that when they give support to this center, the mind immediately becomes quieter. It becomes easier to witness any thoughts or for the thoughts to quiet down. And so now then we can take our left hand back onto our lap. And let's just trace the path of Kundalini with our right hand a few times. And now that we've given attention to some of our lower centers, we always want to return to the seventh center on our head. And we always want to encourage the Kundalini and facilitate its movement to this destination above our heads. And let's put our right hand above our head, just a few inches above our head, and let our attention also rise to that point. And let's also do the same thing now with our left hand. Just put our left hand above our head. And then when we bring our hand down, we can leave our attention in Sahasrara, meaning in the limbic area of our brain or just above the crown of our head. So now, let's maintain this meditative state, but we can finish the foot soaking, and we'll have a 5-minute break to dispose of the water the way we described before. And then we'll come back for the next phase of our session today. So for this, we're going to rinse our feet the way we described and then dispose of the water. Okay, I hope we're welcome back. Let's say welcome back, and hope everyone enjoyed the meditation as much as I did. Does anyone have any questions at this point about any of the affirmations or the technique or anything before we go on? Okay, so today we have a treat. Of course, every day is a treat, but we wanted to we wanted to talk a little bit about Shri Mataji herself. Um, Everybody might have had a, to a different extent, have sort of investigated Shri Mataji and her life. Um, for those of us who were fortunate enough to actually meet her in person, and my experience with her, I was very lucky that my initial experiences of Sahaja Yoga actually were with Shri Mataji. Um, I didn't spend a lot of time with her, but at different points I did have the um, pleasure of meeting her. Um, so for those of us who have had that experience and have over the years, really explored the gift that she gave to humanity, it becomes important to us that people know about her and that the world, you know, not forget what an incredible person she was, what an incredible gift and she gave, and what a tremendous amount of effort and dedication and concern for humanity, really, as a whole, she put into her work. Um, I wanted to share with you actually. I'm not going to share my screen, but there is a website that I'm going to put into the chat that is a beautiful website that's dedicated to this purpose of really exploring um, her life, her work, her the different organizations that she established, the tremendous amount of travel that she engaged in, which almost impossible to imagine, the extent to which she traveled, and for the only purpose was so that she could bring this method, which she pioneered, so that she could bring this method and to as many people in as many different countries as she possibly could. And again, all, as you know, those had mentioned earlier, all free of charge, without accepting any payment for her work whatsoever. So the video that we're going to watch is an opportunity to hear her explain herself about her early life and about her how she started Sahaja Yoga. The video takes place at a weekend seminar, and I think the year might be 1983. Um, and so there's quite a few people there, which you will see. But it's called the KAZU radio interview. So there was a woman who had a program, a radio program, who came to that seminar for the purpose of interviewing Shri Mataji. So, when I think about my experiences and my ongoing experience of this gift which Shri Mataji has given us, it's, I feel a tremendous amount of love and a tremendous amount of just gratitude because, as I'm sure, most of us have already experienced, it's remarkable. It's, you know, she really opened a path for us because, and this was her purpose in her life. She took it on as her purpose, and I think that she, was really born for this. So, and that gift just continues. And we're so fortunate that we, over the years, have, been able to make recordings, audio recordings, video recordings, so we can get a little bit of a sense of her remarkable life and her remarkable abilities. So, let's see. We have a chat here. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Raul, for sharing that. And we'll go to the video now.
Mother, a lady from Kazoo Radio, who is coming as a seeker,
Hi.
but has also arranged that if an interview is possible.
All right.
Barbara,
Yes,
this is Barbara.
yeah. So today we should have questioning only, will be good idea. All right?
Thank you, Mother.
God bless.
Before we begin, I would like to introduce myself to those of you in the room. My name is Barbara Schuler, and I do a radio program on a station from Monterey called Discovery, which is usually on Wednesdays from 1 to 2:30 and is going to be now on Thursdays from 11 to 11:30 to 1 o'clock. And it's my privilege to be here to do a taped interview for my listeners. So for the listeners, I would like to say that we are at the Kennelland Campgrounds in Santa Cruz, and this is an interview with Her Holiness Mataji. Mother, today there were many things said about Sahaja Yoga, about your philosophy, and very little was said about who you are as a person. And I thought it would be good to start out with some questions about who you are, who were you as a child, what people influenced you, what brought you to the place you are today as a luminous being sitting before me and before us.
I'm a very ancient being. That problem is like this. And what can I tell you about myself? I just don't know what part will interest you. But only thing I can say that I was born with this understanding and awareness that I have to find out a method by which I could give mass realization to people. I was a realized soul, of course. I knew all about it from my very childhood. But the problem was that how to make many people get it. Because if one person gets it, or if one person has it, if one person is an incarnation, people don't understand it. Not only that, but they may even try to destroy such a person. That's what happened to all the saints who came on this earth. Christ was crucified, Muhammad Sahib was given poison, because they were ignorant. They did not know what it was, what was he saying. So it was important, first of all, to find out a method how to give them mass realization. And from that angle, I just thought that this is why I am on this earth, and I have to do this job, for which I wanted to study about human beings. I took my birth in a Christian family, and that too a family which was Protestant family, because I felt that Protestants are fanatics but very sophisticated. And they rationalize everything to such an extent that nobody can see beyond it. So I better take my birth in them. And my father and mother had already taken birth, whom I had chosen as my parents. They were great people, realized souls, and especially my father was a person who knew why I was on this earth. Even my mother knew about it. So a special rapport was between them and me, and they could understand why I was busy meditating or finding out about how to give realization to others. Then I would say my father was a very learned man who knew about 14 languages, who translated Quran Sharif into Hindi, who was a member of the Constituent Assembly. He made our constitution. Also, he was the only Christian to be elected in those days. And then my mother was a honors in mathematics, all very well educated and nice people. They dedicated their life to the cause of freedom of India. And I also felt that that was very important, because if we are not free, we cannot do anything on religious basis. This one thing is to be free from this slavery. And that's how I also helped them a lot, and our whole family suffered a lot. And I went through terrible times, at very young age. I was with Mahatma Gandhi also, because he liked me very much as a child, so I stayed on with him. Then I used to come back to study, again go back to him. He used to call me Nepali, because my face is a Nepali face. And he used to talk to me as if he's talking to his grandmother sometimes. It was very sweet, and he was a very sweet man, extremely sweet person to children, very strict with himself and strict with others, elderly people. But with children, he was very, very sweet and kind, and would try to learn from children a lot of things. It was surprising how he understood that there's a lot of wisdom with the children sometimes than with the older people who are mixed up. Now we got our independence, and we had a very bad setback because of the partition we had in our country. And I was studying in Lahore Medical College there, because I wanted to know about medicine, what these people call such and such thing, because I knew all this, but I knew about the body, I knew about everything, what you call the complete nervous system, but I did not know what was the vocabulary attached to it, so I studied there for 2 years. And after that, this war broke out, so I had to discontinue with my studies, and my parents wanted me to get married. And then I found that my marriage was important. I agreed to marry, and I married this gentleman, Mr. C.P. Srivastava. Then, during all that time, my only pastime or the full-time work was to find out about human beings. What's the problem they have? What they avoid reality, how they shun it, how they run away from it, what are their problems, how are they seeking, what do they have to offer, what will they accept, how to handle them. It was quite an intricate question. Every person provided a new sample of problems, and I had to fight it out in a way that it was a system which I knew how to do it, because to enter into somebody subtly to understand the problems of the Kundalini, you can go into the journey and find out about a person. And then I found out the permutations and combinations of their problems. So it is like you can say that like periodic tables, you have to divide them into 3, then into 7, then into their permutations and combinations. So you can imagine 3 into 7 raised to power eternity. It was like that. But doesn't matter, it worked out. And in the year 1970, on the 5th of May, I was a little bit hesitant at that time. I thought I should wait, but certain circumstances made me to open the last center. And when I opened the last center, it started working with others on AMA scale. But still, I gave realization only to one lady who came to my house. I tried if it works out with her. And I gave her realization by touching her centers one by one, 6 centers, and then bringing out the Kundalini on top of the head.
What does it mean to open the
Sahasrara?
last center?
Last center is the center which is the limbic area. where is the seat of all the 7 centers. It's all integration there. So far, everybody who has come, like Christ has come on this center, what we call the Agya Chakra, or Krishna has come on this center, which is the Vishuddhi Chakra. Like that, they have been appearing on every center of ours, giving us a new dimension to our awareness. And that's how our awareness has improved to this extent. And now the time is for you to get your absolute, to get your spirit, that your spirit must shine into your attention, that you should have your self-realization, that you should have your second birth. That's the time. And that is only possible if baptism, the real baptism works out, real. Not artificial, somebody coming and putting the hand on your head and saying, now you are baptized. That's not the way. But it is a real thing that happens, that you start feeling the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost coming out. So, then I started giving first of all realization without confronting any kind of opposition or anything. I started with one lady, then I went ahead with it. Then the first 12 people got realization. Then I was very happy because our mass realization has started. Then gradually it started working out. I went to Indian villages. I thought they are better, simple people. First work on the simpler people. And they got realization. Now we have thousands of people in the villages who have got realization. They have dropped out all their bad habits. They have become very creative. They are doing very well. They are very happy. And they are experts. So many of them are experts, I can say, in India now, whom we call as Sahajogi, maybe in thousands. Some are working in the villages and some are working in some cities. So we have lots of people now in India who can do this job.
This all happened since 1970.
I started it.
You started.
Yeah.
I have a question that's important to me and to many people who are searching for something, or seeking perhaps what you call self-realization or Sahaja Yoga, or something. Some of us don't know exactly what it is.
Yes,
and we find that there are many teachers. How do we recognize those teachers that you might call fraudulent from the real ones? It's so difficult because they all seem to be able to inspire us in certain ways and give us experiences. How do we know who is teaching something that's true and who is being deceptive?
First and foremost thing is, anybody who lives on your earnings is not a guru. A guru will never live on the earnings of his disciples. But here there are people who have built palaces, bought aircrafts and cars and this. I mean, this is something one should understand. It's so open to you to understand. I mean, I cannot understand more obvious thing that this one is, that it's a parasitic living, and you cannot have a parasites as your gurus. They can be parasites, but not your gurus. That's one of the things. And if you can, I mean, you can retain some people, you know. If you want, because you are rich people, you can retain some. That's a different point. But you cannot have them as gurus. Guru has to be a higher personality, you see. Now, you have seen Christ was such a great incarnation. He didn't take any money from anyone. He was a carpenter's son, and he used to do carpentry himself, and he lived like a modest man. He never lived with big cars and big houses. It's not necessary, because such a person is himself is a very big king, you see, like a big emperor. He doesn't need anything. An emperor doesn't need anything, because nothing can give him comfort except that he himself is in complete comfort. So such a person doesn't want anything. So you must see that such a person has no needs of comfort at all. He can sleep on the grounds, he can sleep anywhere. Now, in this life, I should say I come from quite a wealthy family, or married to another wealthy man. You can say that way, according to your own relative ideas. But to me, I can sleep anywhere. I have no problem. I have no problem of food, no problem of sleeping anywhere, no comfort. And I find it is beyond my self-respect to live on the earnings of others. It's not proper. But you are my children. Supposing now you bring a flower to me or something, it's all right. But I can't have a palace out of your money and all this. It's absurd, absolutely absurd. So this is one thing one should know, that it pampers our ego, that we can purchase our guru, we can purchase our self-realization. You see, this is a very subtle pampering, and that's how people accept. You see, they don't want to accept a person who says, who cannot offer anything, it's too much for them. Or maybe that, secondly, could be that people think that if you pay something, then you get attached to it, you go through it, whatever it is. Say you have paid for a ticket, and you find that the whole play is horrid, you can't bear it, but you have to go through it because you have paid for it. That's a human nature, you see. That's a human nature. I have seen that they do it, and that's what it works out. But this is very gross level, I'm telling you. But another should be that in these modern times it is promised that you will become prophets. You have to become prophets. So you must see, have you become prophets out of these? It's easiest is to see the disciples of this man. Any XYZ who says he's a guru. Now what is happening to the disciple? Is he a free person? Has he got any knowledge? Has he got any mastery? What has he achieved by being with that person? Now you have seen here there are such yogis, one better than the other. You talk to them, they are knowledge. Some of them have met me only for, say, 8 days or so, they have become knowledge. So what have they achieved, you should say? What is their style of life, their pattern of life, how they behave? And there cannot be any privacy about it. You see, like mafia, you don't tell that, and you don't say that, and you shouldn't do that. Of course, in Sahaja Yoga, the truth is exposed gradually. But it is not like this that if you give some money, nobody knows. Everybody knows everything in Sahaja Yoga. You see? Now, supposing we have to build an ashram, say for example. All right, you build your ashram, you collect your money, do what you like and know about it. I have nothing to do with it. Also, among yourself, you should know how you got the money, how you spent it, what is the expense and all that. Because ashram, you can pay for, but not for your realization. And this is one thing, it's very important, that what you get out of it is important, that you should become a prophet. Have you become a prophet? Then thirdly, you must know that if you are going from one to another, what we call guru shopping business, that means you have not found it. Otherwise you would just settle down. But some people are so weak that they do settle down with one and are finished with them. You must always see the people who go to these gurus, what have they got? Have they got that transformation? Because this is the age of transformation.
These $60 Japanese smart patches are taking the world by storm.
Let's finish our meditation now. And we gradually open our eyes and we use our gesture of raising the Kundalini. And then putting the bandhan so that we preserve this state of meditation as far as possible throughout our day. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining and for sharing this experience. I know for me, it's a complete pleasure and very strong meditation with all of you. So thank you. And also, any questions at all? I'm happy to answer questions actually, um, about the video, anything that Shri Mataji said, or anything at all.
No questions here, but that was a fantastic meditation.
Thank you.
Thank you for leading us through it.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Much agreed. Much agreed.
Thank you so much for joining.
It's a really nice meditation. Really calmed me down.
Great.
Thank you, Christine.
Great. Thank you.
Also enjoyed Shri Mataji's interview. A lot of insights into how she arrived at giving en masse realization.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Glad you enjoyed that. I never get tired of that.
Yeah.
Of that particular, it's a real favorite.
It just, she made the point that I've heard from a few others that do the volunteer that, why should anyone have to pay for inner peace or, whatever benefit that comes from the meditation and her practice and, just going through kind of the history, even with
Yeah.
Christ, that he never took anything from anybody. So
Right. That's right.
just that simple, how do I say that? Practical point
Yeah. Very
was,
obvious. Yeah.
it really got me thinking about a lot about religion and things. But it was very, very educational.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. It really covers a lot. It's true. And, I mean, I know there are many things out there that people find beneficial that they pay for, and I don't question that, but you do have to know that if it's the deeper it is, the more subtle it is, you know, I mean, if you're paying for a yoga class and you're getting exercises, that's fine, but you're not going to get self realization that way. Because the deepest, most essential, and Shimadaji has, of course, described it this way, and we're all finding this out, that the more essential it is, the less you can pay for it. It's like paying for your breathing or something like that. Or yeah. So
Right.
yeah, that's
Oh,
amazing.
it got me thinking about just certain practices where the only thing I can say is where the person who's giving it is benefiting from it from everyone. Like she was saying, they're buying big houses and cars and all this,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and yeah, and just, and
Well,
I don't know. I can
I
only,
know.
yeah.
At the time this seminar took place, at the time she was speaking in the 80s and 70s, I mean, it was really, this guru, craze was very prevalent. It's less so now, I think, just because um, many of those people have been exposed. The corrupt
Oh yeah.
have been exposed. But then, there's still subtle ways I think that idea is happening, and I think it has to do. What is your relationship to anyone or anything? Like if you take them as a guru, we can do that sometimes unconsciously, and that's when
Wow.
we just need to sort of introspect and saying, and that's actually another way, I think, the way I think of pure knowledge. So it's not that we can't learn from others, but ultimately, how does this apply to you? What is, the benefit to you that being this gift of being your own guru, and
Right.
is is so important, as opposed to making someone else your guru or whatever. And yeah, I mean, I think every religion has made this similar mistakes. I don't mean to say that every religion is false or anything like that. I would never say.
Right, right.
But they have all made mistakes, and they all have like a piece of the puzzle, I think, um, that really get their meaning to this. Mataji again described it as getting, the supreme most, like getting this integration.
Yeah, yeah. No, you said a lot better than I did.
I know this, I'm just sort of getting on. I think I'm jumping
Mm,
from one tangent to another, so I
mm,
apologize for that. But
mm.
yeah, well, there's so much to learn about Shimadaji, and I do recommend this website. I think it's beautifully put together, and there's some other videos on it. The one, the shrimataji.org. Um, it's and there's another nice short interview with Shrimataji on that as well. Um, if you want to learn more about her, and which I
Yeah.
think is really, really beneficial, honestly, to on a subtle level, to learn more about Shimadaji, I think is really beneficial. And it's difficult to describe why, but when you hear how she has talked about how she was born for this, then you start to realize it's no coincidence that she sees her role and saw her role as a mother, and that the Kundalini is also, its role is as a mother. It's no coincidence, that those two things are true at the same time. So, I mean, the extent to which she embodied this energy, it's hard to describe, and I think you can only really experience that, or the truth of that, also just through the meditation. So, you know, it's definitely worth trying and exploring.
All right. It just I've been introduced to meditation and when I was a little bit younger, but it was something completely different than this, and I wasn't able to really work with the person who had taught me it. I don't know, it just faded, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been really refreshing to me to understand it on a deeper level and to gain what I have from this. It's amazing. And I'm like, oh, I never want to stop this. Why would I stop something like this?
Right, right.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much for sharing
Yeah. Thank you.
that.
Yeah, I also like to add, just hearing your conversation with Roxana Christine, that um, because we call Shri Mataji as a mother, and meditation should be free and inner peace. And I always think about the nature, like Mother Earth, and how much she gives us for free.
Mm-hmm.
For me, meditation is so linked to like what nature is. It's the the vibrations and nature, and that how much the nature gives us a Mother Earth for free without doing anything. And that's why when I joined Sahaj, I thought, yeah, this sounds so logic, because of course um, meditation in a peace should be free. If Mother Earth is doing, why can we not do a couple of things for free, and especially inner peace?
Right.
Mm,
And another thing, because I was just experienced this week as well, like about the pure knowledge. Like I'm really an analytical person, and I noticed that if I have a personal dilemma or things I need to figure out, I found that if I just go into thoughtless awareness and meditation during the day or next couple of days, I'll always find the answer to my question. So, and then I know that it's really my answer and my own guru principles leading me, instead of asking around with friends who always try to do their best in advising you, but it's always a mix of their perception and your perception.
Mm-hmm.
And but only in meditation you will, at least that's my experience, you will find the purest answer, and it's really like a collaboration between your own Kundalini and what you're open to it at that moment to accept as an answer.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that was very beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's always surprising, right? there's always a there's always I mean, it's so easy for human beings, of course, like you were saying, Jiga, that the nature, it's so easy to take that for granted. And it's also very, very easy for us to kind of fall back on the old methods and sort of forget to use this new state of awareness. So, it's a constant learning process and process of reminding ourselves and kind of returning. And yeah, I said I found that for sure for myself.
True. Yes, very true, Christine.
So hope to see you all next time, and I hope to join actually myself more frequently, even though I'm not always on